I'm Lauren, and this is Less with Lauren Yoga. On this channel, you can expect to find helpful and informational videos about alignment and stability in each and every yoga posture and how you can transition from one posture to the next without compromising your form. To start, I'd like to talk about the difference between neutral and natural alignment in your pelvis. Our pelvis is the center of our body. It stores our center of gravity, and it makes movement from the upper half and lower half of your body possible and coordinated with one another. Your pelvis is also connected through your spine, and so your spine is going to play a huge role in the alignment of your pelvis. In a standing position, your natural form is the way you normally stand. So if you shake everything out, give yourself a little jump, the way you land is most likely the way that your body naturally gravitates towards. This is a natural, habitual, unconscious posture. For example, your pelvis might tilt forwards or it might tilt back. Not quite as exaggerated as what I'm showing you now, but your natural form will likely sway one way or the other. And this full movement from fully forwards through fully backwards is considered your range of motion. A healthy range of motion should be able to move completely in an anterior tilt through a posterior tilt. But that doesn't mean that we want to be in either of those flexion or extensions of your pelvis naturally and on a regular basis. Naturally, on a regular basis, we'd like our pelvis to be in neutral. Neutral alignment is when your hips, if they were filled with water here, right where my thumb and my pointer fingers are, the water wouldn't spill forwards or backwards. In this neutral position, your core becomes engaged and your glutes become activated. When we tilt forwards or backwards in either direction, we lose that activation of the two largest muscle groups in the body. So in each and every yoga posture, pay attention to where your hips are. A great tool for this, your hands. Your hands on your hips can provide guidance in almost any yoga posture when your hands don't otherwise need to be on the floor. Your hands can help dictate if your hips are tilted forward in an anterior tilt or backwards in a posterior tilt. More often than not, in common day postural issues, we see that most people have an anterior tilt. This is due to a lot of sitting, a lot of slouching over at desks, typing away, and looking at our phones. It all pushes your hips forward and pushes your glutes backwards, adding a lot of compression to the low back, which is also why we have so much low back problem and pain in current day. Let's look at it in a yoga pose. Take mountain pose, for example. If your feet are splayed out, your knees are kind of bent, and your hips are pointed in some direction, right? You're not going to be able to engage your core or engage your glutes accurately. When you pull your toes forward, hip width apart, knees underneath your hip bones, hands to your hips, you can start to feel your core pull in and back, your glutes engage as you get a little bit taller. This is a strong, active mountain pose. Let's look at it in chair pose. You keep your feet exactly where they are, all of your toes planted on the ground, squeeze through the glutes, and start to pull your hips back slightly as you hinge at the knees. You don't need to go down far at all, but you want to keep these hips in neutral. What often happens when you move from your mountain pose into your chair pose is we lose that strength in the core and we put the anterior tilt into our hips, pressing the glutes back, letting your chest fold forward. And if you think about it, it mirrors a very similar position to when you're slouched over at your desk. Great way to improve this. Hands come to the hips. Don't lose the integrity of your neutral pelvis as you bend at your knees as if you're sliding your back down a wall. Now, you might not go down nearly as far, but your form is much better here. Your alignment is going to support your body much better. And overall, your stability will help you engage your core and your glutes efficiently and without pain to other parts of your body. Give it a try. Bring your hands to your hips and try moving from an active mountain pose, really with that core pulled in tight, into your chair pose without compromising the tilt of your hips. And let me know if it helps you out.